Ice road season is my favorite time of the year because that gives us more access to Inuvik. It's easier for people to drive in and out, and you're not waiting on weather for planes.
Aklavik's Mina McLeod is involved in many community boards. She makes things happen in the Western Arctic community of just over 500. She's also manager of her family's contracting business, which creates the winter-spring vein of transport.
We construct and maintain the ice road from Aklavik to Inuvik. We also maintain the runway for the airport and water delivery.
However, her and her community are living with the impacts of delays in accessing that vein from climate warming.
We've been doing the ice road now for about more than 15 years, and we've always had it open before Christmas.
However, the 120-kilometer Inuvik-Aklavik ice road just opened January 12th at its minimum weight capacity, monitored by the government of the Northwest Territories.
So 5,000 kilograms, like my pickup, my F-150 is 3,500 kilograms. So you can just only drive pickups and Suburbans, smaller vehicles. It goes up to about 48,000 kilograms, which is when we can get the big trucks with all the building supplies, especially towards the end of the season.
This is after the region accumulated more snow in December than any other year dating back to the early 80s. According to the 30 years of NWT government records, the latest the Inuvik-Aklavik ice road opened is December 26th in 1998.
The weather started off really warm, and then we got a lot of snow. There was so much snow, and the snow causes water on the river, and it's just not safe to be plowing where there's water. We actually sunk one of our plow trucks because there was so much water, and it just got stuck in the overflow, and it was very challenging this year. Usually by now we'd have the grader grading the roads, but because we just opened it and it's still thin, because it adds ice over time, it gets thicker the more you clean it. But because we opened it so late, our grader hasn't been out here yet, and it won't come out for probably another couple of weeks at least, because we're only at 5,000 kilograms. We need about 14,000 or 15,000 kilograms for our grader, I believe. Usually they're starting like the first or second week of January.
McLeod explains the ways the warmer weather and ice road delays have affected their community, from school closures.
Because of the flat roof, all of that weight was just sitting on there. So we didn't open school for the first week after Christmas holidays until they got all of that snow off there.
To the continual reliance on small planes for food and mail delivery and passenger transport, but that cannot fly in poor weather.
So it does create a lot of hardship, especially when they're missing medical appointments, because sometimes you're waiting to see the doctor, like specialists, for months, and then you finally get your appointment, and then you miss it because the weather is bad.
2244, and your name will be entered in for a draw.
For young harvester and community radio host Jessie Pascal, she feels the ongoing impacts.
There's a lot of shortages that were happening throughout the last couple of weeks, and just not being able to, get them at the store when you want it kind of stresses people out a little bit. A return flight from Aklavik to Inuvik, for a 15-20 minute plane ride, it is $400. So it's quite pricey, and not everyone could afford that. Like if you want to just get out for the weekend or something, like just to get out of town and get your mental state back in mind, it's hard to get out of the community.
The realities of climate change is not just felt in the Arctic. This month, the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Monitoring announced that 2023 was the hottest year on record, with global temperatures close to the 1.5 degree limit, and where the Arctic is warming at a more significant rate.
It's a tough thing to try and predict because we're not sure what's going to happen. Like we know that the climate is warming, and it really affects our ways of life and how to get things done.
For Pascal and community members, snowfall affects access to getting firewood and traveling by snowmobile.
It was really tough for me because our family, we rely mostly on wood stove heat, and I'm the one that goes out and gets the wood, mostly alone, and I'm really thankful with the help that when I do get it. But there's a lot of struggles that I've had just in the last few weeks because of the amount of snow. I kept getting stuck in the snow in like 5 feet of snow, like so many times. And it kind of like, discourages me a little bit, but I just keep pushing forward and you just have to do what you got to do. And that's what I did just so our house could stay warm.
Delay, snow levels, and a recent power plant fire scare, McLeod says community members want to see more government action.
It was a little scary because a lot of people, especially the people that live in housing, they don't have wood stoves. So if the fire kept going and if we didn't get it out right away, they would have had to bring in generators. And I don't know how they would have got them in because our ice road isn't thick enough yet. And our runway isn't long enough for a big plane. Like that would have been very serious if they didn't get the fire out right away. We know what needs to be done, but I think the federal government and the territorial government, they have to kind of take direction from the local people, especially here where, we don't have a full-time road. We rely on ice roads. We rely on flights most of the year, so they should make our airport longer.
The Aklavik Ice Road normally stays open till end of April or early May. With the amount of snow, the community is bracing for possible flooding.
They're like having conversations with people that like they haven't seen this amount of snow in such a long time. So that makes us kind of concerned about the springtime here in Aklavik. So I guess we just have to wait and see if there's any mitigation that we'd be able to do.
And the more snow you get, the more flooding you'll get in the springtime, towards the end of the season. And it's not good to get too much snow. We've already got enough for the whole year. Yeah.
In the meantime, McLeod and community continue to hold events to help bring people together. Carly Schogner, APTN National News, Aklavik.